The story coming into tonight's game: Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews. Well, there's a lot of other guys on the ice for both teams, and the Leafs and Austin Matthews manhandle Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers 6-2. But it's a little kind of short-lived. Let's talk about a few things. Number one, earlier today we hear about Jake Gardiner being week to week with a lower body injury, assuming it's the back spasms issue. Could be a little bit more than that, I'm not sure, but it's a week to week for Jake Gardiner, so there's a defenseman gone. Late in the game today, when the Leafs are up 6-1, Travis Dermott gets hit awkwardly into the boards by Brad Malone. He's in clear discomfort. He gets help. He's holding his arm the entire way, shoulder, wrist. I don't know where the heck he was holding on to. And he goes off the ice, grimacing, and it does not look good for Travis Dermott, another defenseman. And he is a great, great player, is Travis Dermott. We're just praying and praying it is not very serious, because that's another big loss. Andreas Borgman and Calle Rosen, two of probably your top picks to come up in those spots, are injured down in the AHL. Looks like a guy like Martin Marincin might have to come up, and I don't know if I want to see that, but it might have to happen. But let's talk about this game. And once again, the Leafs don't start out the greatest. They give up a power play goal to Leon Draisaitl. Whom else? It's either him, McDavid, or sometimes Nugent-Hopkins. And it's 1-0 on the power play, and at one point, the shots are 13-2 in favor of the Oilers. Now, the first period, as the first period rolls around, Patrick Marleau bangs in a loose puck on the rebound. His 14th of the year. Muzzin and Connor Brown grab assists, and the Leafs have tied the game at 1 with minute 58 to go in the first period. Big goal there to get the momentum heading into the second period. You know, the shots do end 16-10. In the first period. So considering it was 13-2, you guys can do the math. That's an 8-3 the rest of the way in favor of the Leafs. And that was kind of the story the rest of the way. Second period rolls around. The Leafs got did they have a power play? No, so that was going into the third. 1 minute 9 in, Zach Hyman with a beautiful, beautiful feed to Mitch Marner's, kind of like a slap pass, I guess, from Zach Hyman. And Marner deflects it under the arm of Mikko Koskinen, whom we're hearing is a starting goaltender, but from tonight's game and games in the not so far past, I have no confidence in that goalie whatsoever for the Oilers. Ron Hainsey grabs the secondary assist, and the Leafs are on top 2-1. And a minute 13, or no, sorry, a minute like 17, I guess it is, after that goal, Andreas Johnsson, he's got his 18th of the year. Kapanen and Austin Matthews grab assists in the play. Beautiful job by Matthews on the boards in front of the Oilers bench, lifting the stick of the defender, picking the puck up, and a nifty-looking pass, or maybe it was, hold on, I guess it was this way. It was kind of like back and then forth, and then to the pass. It was, I don't know what the heck he did. It was a nifty-looking pass to Kapanen, and then a beautiful pass backdoor to Andreas Johnsson, who goes, whoop, thank you very much. And Koskinen's flopping around like a fish. It's in the back of the net, and the Leafs got a 3-1 lead. Goals only a minute 17 apart. We ain't done yet. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes after that, William Nylander from a ridiculously horrendous angle beats Mikko Koskinen. Mikko Koskinen, it doesn't even matter. Short side, there's not much room to work. It hits the shoulder pad of Koskinen and in. Nylander's got his 5th. The power play goal, Tyler Ennis and Patrick Marleau grabbed the assist. And just like that, the first 5 minutes of the second period turns a 1-1 game into a 4-1 Leaf lead. Oh, and we ain't even done yet. 8:09 into the period. Loose puck in front of the net. You know, Tavares kind of mishandles it, I guess. It ends up on the stick of Andreas Johnsson, and he beats Anthony Solars because Koskinen gets pulled. And Andreas Johnsson with his second goal of the game, 19th of the year. Tavares and Mitch Marner grab assists, and the Leafs have a 5-1 lead of a span of 5 goals in like 8:09. Incredible. This Leafs team has a tough time in the first period, but if they can find a way to either be down by one or tied going into the second and third periods, it's pretty much over. Or at least lately it's been that way. And, I mean, my goodness, what a job by the Leafs, and Koskinen was absolutely horrendous. Let's go to the third, and by the way, in that second period, Leafs outshoot the Oilers 14-7. Meanwhile, the Leafs go into the third period with a 5-on-3. 25 seconds in, John Tavares snipes his 36th goal of the year. Marner and William Nylander grab assists, and it is a 6-1 Leafs lead. I am exhausted right now, but it was a lot of fun to watch this game until Dermott went down, and then I'm like, great, we got a 6-1 lead, but no! Yeah, and then Nugent-Hopkins scores a greasy one, and it doesn't even matter at that point. It's a 6-2 final. Frederik Andersen, a great night. 2 goals on 36 shots. Attaboy, Freddie. And the shots on goal of the third period with 13-12 in favor of Edmonton, but I mean, really? For most of the third period, it was all Leafs, and then Leafs were like, all right, we'll just kind of sit back a little bit, and then they score 1 goal, whoop-de-flip-and-do. Leafs were 3 for 5 on the power play. Special teams on fire. Face-off dot, 37-22 in favor of the Leafs. All over the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, the hits were not in favor of the Leafs, but it never is. And the Buds have now won 3 straight games. All 3 games, they're trailing in the first period. They find ways to come back and win. Now, against great teams like the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightnings and Washington and Pittsburgh and teams like that, even though Pittsburgh's out of a playoff spot right now, but they will not allow you to get back into games like this. Teams like the Oilers, who suck. Other than Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, only can throw Nugent-Hopkins into there, and even Darnell Nurse ain't bad. But other than those 4 names, the whole roster is useless. Lucic, that's terrible. Cassian, he just, I don't know. He's just bad. And half the third and fourth line guys, I don't even know. I mean, I do, but they're like no names to anybody. So the Leafs get the job done there tonight. With at the suspense of, obviously, Dermott going down with injury, and then the praise goes, and it was very scary in the second period. Kapanen going into the boards, blowing a tire. That looked uglier than the Dermott injury. Yet Kapanen got up, shook it off at some point, and got on the next shift. Now, he eventually went to the dressing room, but did come back for the third period and was totally fine, I assume, and blocked a shot in the third period, goes down, and we're like, what is happening right now? Guys, stay healthy. Stop this. We already lost Kadri. Now we've lost Jake Gardiner. And who knows, Dermott could be gone for a little while. Just calm it down a little bit with the injuries. This is the wrong time to start doing this. But in the end, the Leafs do win 6-2. They've now won 3 straight games. 39-20 are the Toronto Maple Leafs. Incredible. This team, 39-20-4 are the Buds. They now, like I said, they won 3 straight games. But the next game is a highly anticipated one for Islander fans. John Tavares makes his return to Long Island tomorrow night. It's back-to-back for the Leafs, so you guys know what that means. Garrett Sparks will be getting the call in net for the Leafs. But if I'm not mistaken, in his last couple games, last 3 games, Garrett Sparks has not been bad. However, it's the early stuff that he hasn't been good in. And if you guys have watched the Leafs lately, you know the Leafs have not been good early on. So if I'm a Leaf fan, I'm watching this first period and thinking if they can get out of this either tied, up, or down by 1, it's a success. But tomorrow's going to be tough. And look, I do not want to hear one word about back-to-back, back-to-back, back-to-back. Because you just won a 6-2 game. You were up 5-1 midway through the second period. It was pretty much smooth sailing the rest of the way. This was not a high-octane game, and it was not a high-energy game. You look at basketball, right? If you blow a team up by 30 like the Raptors did against the Celtics, and then you have back-to-back, most of your guys are rested and you're fine. That should be the case tomorrow for the Leafs. They should get up, ready to go, because you know John Tavares will, and you know the New York Islanders will tomorrow night. Is it at the Coliseum? Are they back there now, or are they in Brooklyn? No, they're not. They're in the Coliseum. I don't know what the heck happened. They're in Brooklyn, but we're not even going to get into that. The Islanders are a really good team, first in the Metropolitan Division. Now, the Leafs were there. We'd be first, but I mean, love the Atlantic, don't we? Look, Islanders are 36-19-7, a very good team. Robin Lehner has been putting a ridiculous season together. 19-10-5 with a 210 goals against average and a 930 save percentage and 4 shutouts. He has been incredible for the Islanders. A big reason of where they are today. I mean, he has 19 of their 36 victories, right? So, I mean, that's big for them. But we're going to have our back-to-back, and we're going to have Garrett Sparks in the net for that. He has to be good tomorrow night. I don't care if we have these weird feelings about Garrett Sparks, because I do. He has to be good tomorrow. You go in there, you beat the Islanders. You've now won 4 straight games. You win the road game, and then you come back home to take on Buffalo on Saturday night, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys enjoyed the game today. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below who your MVP is at the game. Mine is Andreas Johnsson with the 2 big goals in the game today. You could say a lot of different players. You could say Mitch Marner. You could say Nylander. You could say Frederik Andersen. Lots of names you could throw out there. Mine is Andreas Johnsson, though, because he had a huge impact in the game today. I really liked his game. And we actually heard not too long ago about the Leafs offering him a contract in the past week, but he decides to wait because the more he plays, the better he plays, the more money he'll make. And I get that for his sake. I do. So I'm not going to ream him out for that. And he's a great, fun, loving player. So we're not gonna hate on Andreas Johnsson ever. All right, so who's your MVP, guys? What do you guys think about the whole Dermott situation and the Gardner and now Kadri being injured? Do you look anything into these, or do you just try and keep a level head and stay calm with it? I think that's the case. That's the way you go, because there still is around 20 games to go. Lots of hockey to play. You do the math; it's over a month to go. So if there's any somewhat of an injury, then it's good that it's happening now and not April, when you need your guys to be healthy. But let me hear your guys' thoughts towards this game, towards this Leafs team heading into the playoffs. Now only 1 point back of the Boston Bruins in the Atlantic Division, 7 points up on the Montreal Canadiens for that 3rd spot in the Atlantic. Guys, Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition sometime next week. Again, if you guys did not see the podcast or hear the podcast, today the link is down in the description below, guys, for the podcast channel and for the podcast on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys Raptors edition. All right, as they take on the Portland Trail Blazers on Friday night at Scotiabank Arena, the final game of the 6-game homestand for the Toronto Raptors, looking to go 5-1 on that, I guess, at home there on that 6-game homestand. 8 p.m. tip-off there at Scotiabank Arena. Raptors look to build on that great win yesterday against the Boston Celtics. And as for the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys, like we said, they will take on the New York Islanders tomorrow night in John Tavares' return. There will be a ton of boos. There's going to be booing every time he touches the puck. But if you're a Leaf, you got to go out there like it's every game. And if you're John Tavares, you try and find a way to get over that early on in the game, even though it probably won't be easy. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.